Diary of a Wimpy Kid, a book that at least half the population knows, but forgot due to most people not wanting to read the books or movies past the age of 13, is a series that I both like and respect for not giving children something that tries way too hard to appeal to kids. AKA pushing trends, pushing advertisements, pretty much all the stuff that you already know that children films do nowadays. The parts of the films that do endorse some sort of tie-in, like the Wii, they don't really shove it in your face, and it overall blends well with the films due to the time that they released. I remember this series mainly through the Scholastic Book Fair in elementary and middle school, which I was probably on somebody's hit list for buying the last Genius World Record book that I'm pretty sure every kid wanted at that point. Sorry, not sorry. If you would like to fight me, you can meet me right here. I, like so many other people, grew up with the books of Diary of a Wimpy Kid. I think I read the books up until Long Haul, which was in 2014, which makes it 7 to almost 8 years old from when I'm typing this. Not to mention the first book was made in 2007, almost 15 years ago. I am dying and there is no way of slowing down my aging. But from memory and from the multiple times I've read the books and movies, it was a fun series that resonated with kids with its down-to-earth, relatable scenarios that felt like it could happen in elementary or middle school. But when you revisit them, you realize how much of a manipulating, psychopathic asshole Greg Heffley is. He abuses his friends and then gets angry when characters call him out about it. He gaslights his best friend into thinking what he's doing to him is fine, like breaking his fucking arm, and feeling no sympathy for him afterwards. He gets angry when his friends get more attention than him, so he tries to steal the spotlight from him. And I could go on, but I think this video would just turn into an 8-hour YouTube video analysis by this point. Why I brought up Greg Heffley being a jerk is because when rewatching it and thinking back to the books, is that I think him being that way was the main appeal of why people liked it looking back at it. The films and book is like a weird power fantasy for a child writing his journal. And lets us, the viewer, the reader, see how a kid would think in a really self-centered, overdramatic way, like how a kid may think at times. This movie, however, sort of paints him as a saint for the most part. He isn't as narcissistic or self-centered as he used to be in the movies or even the books. He's just a kid who gets annoyed slightly and has conflicts that are just shoved in the movie for no reason. Sure, he humanizes him a little more, but by removing his narcissistic ways, how do we disagree with his actions? Because obviously the author knows that the main purpose of why people have such a connection to the books after they read it as a child is that he's not supposed to be likable. He's supposed to be sort of hateable, but we like him getting into trouble or have consequences for his actions. So when this movie went in the opposite direction, it was really jarring and deviated a lot from what people liked about the series. The story of the animated film is basically the movie from 2010, but with some parts that were adjusted, like how in the new film, the college kids randomly attack Greg, but the reason for them getting angry in the books and films was because Greg said that he was going to call the cops, threaten them with a sharp object, scratch their car, and also taunted them. But in the animated film, they just pop up and they hunt them down for no reason. It felt like they could have added a better build-up to it, but they probably had to work with their abysmal runtime. Another situation was the lead up to the fight with Riley and Greg, which just happened randomly in the new film instead of a more gradual and worthwhile build-up. These plot issues have to do more with the runtime. This movie is barely even an hour long, which is weird because it does not feel like an hour. The pacing is just really slow at some parts due to the animation being so stiff and boring at times. I feel like this could have been more if they could just at least added 30 more minutes of runtime, just add a little bit more content from the book, but they didn't. This runtime is just now an outdated form for movies, in my opinion. Movies just cannot be compressed to an hour anymore unless you really do it right and don't need to add anymore. But now TV shows are 30 minutes to even an hour long with each episode, so this movie only just being an hour just feels like an extended episode of a series that they didn't even want to fully commit with. To be honest, I think this could work more as a series. Maybe have each season be each book or each half a season be each book, and would have excused the animation quality. Which leads me to my next point. I'm not saying that this film looks particularly bad, but it doesn't look good at the same time. If I were to judge this as if it was a full-length movie, this movie looks cheap as hell, which is funny because it's being funded by Disney, one of, if not, the movie company to go to for the most money. I like the blending of 2D and 3D, but for the most part, it just looks off. The mouth constantly looks like it's open. The character designs look gross at some parts. Like, there's a scene of a kid drinking at a water fountain, and I laughed so hard with my friend while watching this because his lips were just taking up the whole fountain and was animated weirdly. But overall, the animation quality is tolerable at best. What the actual fuck is that creature? I'm gonna get the Black Plague from that rat. The voice actors fit the roles fine. The one for Fragley actually sounded like the one from the films, but there is some voice actors that felt like they just wanted to read their lines to get over with. In particular, the mom character. But overall, this movie is not good, not bad, just got in the middle. I did hear that this movie was leagues better than the Long Haul movie that came out, which I'm never going to watch that because Roderick looks like a mole rat. I just wish that this film had better writing and visuals, and I hope that the sequel can improve upon these two. Most likely no, but we can hope. I'm going to give this a 5 out of 10. It totally wasn't the worst thing in the world, but there's definitely superior products that you can just watch instead, like the 2010 movies, which they surprisingly hold up more than this one. I hope you enjoyed this video. Subscribe if you want to, like if you want to, even comment if you want to. I don't care. Just you do you. See you later, Canadians. And now I have a rat infestation. Can somebody please beat the fuck out of this rat? Dear God, it's inching towards me. Don't think it, don't see it, don't think it, don't see it, don't think it.
Soundstripe.